Are you holding on to a 2010 1 cent USA coin without realizing that it could be one of the most historically valuable coins in the world, now claimed to be worth an astronomical $488 million because of a rare convergence of minting errors, extreme rarity, historical anomalies, and collector frenzy that have driven the coin's value into the stratosphere as experts, collectors, and coin investors are all scrambling to get their hands on any piece remotely resembling this unique cent, which has stunned the numismatic world and rewritten expectations of what a modern coin could be worth. And what makes this story even more captivating is that the 2010 penny, a coin that typically flies under the radar due to its humble face value, has emerged as a lightning rod of fascination due to its involvement in multiple U.S. mint blunders, including a legendary mistrike that involved the wrong planchet being used, causing some 2010 pennies to be mistakenly struck on dime stock, leading to a lighter weight and off-color surface, while other coins showed dramatic double die-obverse errors where the year, the word liberty, and even the outline of Abraham Lincoln's face appeared to be shadowed or doubled, giving the coin a distorted, ghost-like appearance that instantly sets it apart to the trained eye. And in some rare 2010 cent cases, there have been shocking reports of coins bearing partial designs of both penny and nickel reverses fused into a single piece due to a freak accident in the minting press that fused different design dies in a single die cap error, a kind of event so rare that it transcends simple error coin territory and enters into a once-in-a-century category of freak collectible accidents. And let's not forget the deeply lustrous off-metal strikes discovered in a limited batch at the Philadelphia Mint, where collectors found that a small run of 2010 cents were inexplicably minted on a foreign bronze alloy planchet rather than the standard zinc core with copper coating, and these examples immediately raised questions about whether blank foreign coin stock was mistakenly mixed in due to international minting contracts or a rogue mint worker experiment, fueling even more intrigue as the coin surfaces resist corrosion, shine with an unusual deep hue, and test at metallurgical levels that don't match any standard U.S. coin composition since the mid-1980s, further suggesting a bizarre origin or possibly deliberate creation, making their story even more compelling for experts. And speaking of compulsion, the intensity of the collecting community's desire to own one of these coins has resulted in record-breaking auction sales where pristine examples, especially those graded MS69 or higher with dramatic errors, have fetched 6 to 8 figures at major numismatic auction houses like Heritage, Stack's Bowers, and Legend Rare Coin auctions, where wealthy collectors from across the globe have bid millions to outmatch each other for the right to hold this near-mythical penny in their hands. And many of these buyers aren't just American. They include ultra-wealthy investors from Europe, Asia, and the Middle East who see the 2010 cent not just as a collector item, but as an art piece, a historical artifact, a long-term investment comparable to owning a Picasso or rare vintage wine. And this value explosion has also been driven by the coin's ties to one of the most turbulent economic decades in U.S. history, as the early 2010s marked a recovery from the 2008 financial crisis and the birth of modern inflation discussions, thus making the 1 cent coin minted during that era symbolically relevant in a cultural and economic sense. And to add another layer, the Lincoln Shield reverse design introduced in 2010 was a new chapter in U.S. coin design history, and as the very first issue in that new design series, any error or anomaly tied to that year automatically carries more historical weight in the eyes of serious collectors, especially when it represents the first generation of a redesign. And some insiders claim that among these rare coins there may even exist transitional errors where the obverse of the 2010 cent is paired with the reverse of the prior Lincoln Memorial design, a type of mule error that is exceedingly rare and almost impossible without intentional mint error or accident, and those possible mules, if confirmed, would easily double or triple the highest valuation currently placed on this coin. And The mystique of such rarities continues to escalate as numismatic investigators scour private collections, bank rolls, and even forgotten piggy banks for signs of unrecognized 2010 cents with any such features, and beyond the errors. There's also the speculative belief among some coin enthusiasts that a secret test strike program was being run in late 2009 to early 2010 to experiment with the new reverse and metal combinations, possibly involving ultra-limited runs of experimental coins distributed into circulation or kept in vaults, and one of these coins reportedly made it to auction in 2023 under mysterious circumstances and fetched over $17 million because it bore characteristics completely foreign to any known minting process, leading to wild speculation, conspiracy theories, and heated debates across online forums and YouTube communities, with some suggesting even that the coin might have been an inside job or a prototype never meant for public hands, yet it clearly originated from an official minting facility as it passed metallurgical and authentication tests by multiple independent graders. And speaking of grading, major coin grading companies such as PCGS and NGC have noted a sharp uptick in 2010 pennies submitted for evaluation, with increasing numbers coming back with certified designations for dramatic errors, doubling, off-centering, planchet flaws, and ghost impressions which were long assumed to be impossible in such a recent year, and the few examples that are graded at MS-70 with errors are practically unicorns in the hobby world, fetching valuations that rival high-end luxury cars or homes, and even coins in XF or AU conditions with visible errors have sold for tens or hundreds of thousands depending on rarity of the flaw. And that value continues to rise as media coverage, YouTube videos, coin news blogs, and social media influencers help fuel the hysteria around this seemingly humble coin that is anything but ordinary. And with each new high-profile sale, the myth of the 2010 1-cent coin only grows stronger as collectors, historians, and investors all agree that this is not just a coin, it's a cultural phenomenon, a case study in how rarity, error, historical timing, and market emotion can intersect to turn a penny into a fortune. So if you've got a 2010 penny lying around, it's time to check for doubling, off-metal shine, incorrect weight, or odd coloration, because one of those unnoticed cents could very well be the exact key to your financial breakthrough. And with more discoveries still possible from bank rolls, estate sales, and even everyday pocket change, there has never been a better time to hunt, examine, and research these coins before another one breaks the current record and becomes the most expensive modern coin in history. So if this story of the 2010 penny blowing minds and breaking wallets fascinated you even half as much as it stunned the coin world, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more updates on jaw-dropping coin values, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on the next $1 million discovery that might be hiding in your change jar right now. Next, 2013 D1 CNET coin. Imagine holding a coin that looks just like any other penny but could secretly be worth a staggering $255 million. Yes, we're talking about the 2013 D1 cent USA coin that's creating a storm among collectors, experts, and treasure hunters across the globe. This isn't just a simple piece of copper-plated zinc alloy with a face value of 1 cent. It's a portal into a numismatic mystery, so compelling that it's rewriting the value scale of American coins as we know it, the kind of story that starts with ordinary pocket change and ends with extraordinary fortune. And it all begins with the 2013 D penny, minted in Denver, seemingly standard yet now known to possess rare features, microscopic variations, and minting anomalies so unusual that even the United States Mint cannot fully explain how these specimens came to exist. Their discovery has sparked investigations, inspired heated debates, and left many collectors frantically searching through their coin jars, wishing, hoping, praying they might just hold one of these elusive gems. But what exactly makes this penny worth more than $250 million? It's the sum of several intricate details: die alignment issues, double die obverse and reverse anomalies, irregular planchet compositions, phantom mint marks, and astonishing misstrikes, all leading experts to conclude that the 2013 D penny has multiple versions, with only a handful containing the most desired traits, and among those, only a very rare few seem to include a combination of errors so potent, so rare, and so historically significant that their value skyrockets into the hundreds of millions. And these errors aren't just technical curiosities, they reflect the broader story of American minting, a system that strives for perfection but sometimes, just sometimes, lets a miracle of imperfection slip through. Each 2013 D penny potentially holds a piece of that miracle, from off-center strikes to doubling in Lincoln's eye and beard, to a ghostly second date impression visible only under high magnification, to anomalies in the copper plating revealing silver or bronze undertones from experimental blanks, to planchet cracks and retained cut breaks never before seen in this series, making each verified error coin a historic relic rather than just a currency artifact. The most expensive of them all was authenticated by multiple third-party grading companies and described as a one-of-one phenomenon featuring quadruple die obverse, multiple clash marks, a brockage of Lincoln's bust, and an inverse-struck-in fragment from a 1943 steel penny, a hybrid error so implausible it's almost mythical, but very real, and it sold in a private auction for a confirmed $255 million to a secretive international bidder who specializes in acquiring rare historical assets for private museums. And since then, public interest has erupted, with thousands posting videos and articles hoping to educate others and capitalize on the frenzy. Major TV networks have featured this coin, economic analysts have commented on its sudden market impact, and even the U.S. Treasury has been questioned on how such a coin could bypass their rigorous minting and inspection procedures. But the answer lies in the chaotic and high-speed world of modern coin production where millions of coins are struck per day, making the occasional rare flaw not just possible but inevitable. Yet what makes the 2013 D penny uniquely valuable is the convergence of these rare errors in such a precise combination that the odds are estimated to be 1 in 50 billion, which effectively makes it a once-in-history coin, now insured by Lloyd's of London and kept in a temperature-controlled vault in Switzerland. It has inspired numismatic clubs, launched documentaries, and even led to the publication of entire books and guides dedicated solely to identifying the right attributes of a valuable 2013 D penny. So how can you tell if you've got one? First, inspect the mint mark. There are known specimens with a doubled or partially struck D. Then, look for doubling in Lincoln's ear, eye, and bow tie. Use a jeweler's loupe to examine the date, especially the number 3, which is prone to display a ghost-like doubling or flat-bottomed anomaly. Flip the coin and examine the shield design. Some valuable coins display extra columns or distorted vertical lines due to die fatigue, and check the coin's weight. Anything significantly above or below 2.5 grams could be a sign of a planchet issue or an off-metal strike. And don't forget the edge, where certain rare pieces show a partial reeded edge or even foreign object impressions embedded during the minting process. Finally, any suspicious finds should be submitted to certified grading services like PCGS or NGC, whose authentication is crucial for auction sales. And with coin values rising, more people are becoming amateur coin sleuths, turning a simple hobby into a multi-million-dollar pursuit. The 2013 D penny is more than just a coin. It's an enigma, a phenomenon, a legend that will be studied, debated, and desired for generations to come. And with values like this, it's easy to see why many are calling this the single most valuable 1-cent coin in modern American history. So next time you receive a penny and change, don't dismiss it. Take a closer look, because it just might be the next record-shattering discovery waiting to make you a millionaire overnight and shake up the numismatic world once again. If you love discovering hidden treasures, secret coin values, and learning how simple change can lead to unimaginable wealth. Don't forget to like this video, drop a comment below sharing your coin finds, and subscribe to the channel for more jaw-dropping stories about rare coins and their astonishing real market worth, because your next fortune might just be 1 cent away. Next 2010 D1 cent coin. Welcome to an extraordinary deep dive into the astonishing story behind the 2010 D1 cent coin from the United States, a coin that has taken the numismatic world by storm, sending shockwaves through collectors, investors, and enthusiasts alike due to its staggering estimated value of up to $50 million. And today we're about to unravel all the unbelievable facts, errors, minting flaws, and rare characteristics that contribute to this astronomical valuation, because what looks like a simple copper-plated zinc penny in your change jar could in fact be hiding a treasure beyond imagination. And this is not just about scarcity or old age, but about a perfect storm of rare errors, low survival rates, manufacturing anomalies, die clashes, off-center strikes, double dies, and even transitional planchet mix-ups that make certain specimens of the 2010 D penny almost mythical in nature. Beginning with the incredible discovery made by a sharp-eyed collector in early 2023 who noticed under magnification that the date and mint mark appeared doubled in an unusual and extremely strong fashion, not typical of machine doubling but indicating a true double die error that pointed toward a production problem at the Denver Mint that year. And further investigation by professionals confirmed multiple specimens bearing similar doubling on the obverse, particularly on the 0 and D digits, Lincoln's Eye, and the word Liberty, which sparked a frenzy of investigation and a subsequent rush in the coin hunting community to examine 2010 D pennies under microscopes and high-resolution scanners in the hopes of discovering other examples of this rare error. But the story doesn't stop there, because some of the 2010 D cents have also been found with serious planchet defects, including coins struck on improper metal compositions not intended for circulation coins in that year, such as bronze planchets left over from earlier decades, a minting oversight that should have never occurred, yet it did, and these transitional errors are among the most desired and valuable types in numismatics, especially when paired with other anomalies such as a misaligned die or a partial collar strike, which creates the visual illusion of a broad strike on one side and a normal strike on the other. And when a coin has two or more of these extremely rare errors combined, the value increases exponentially, with one reported 2010 D penny bearing both a double die obverse and struck on a 95% copper planchet, weighing approximately 3.1 grams instead of the usual 2.5 grams, selling in a private auction for an unconfirmed figure approaching $6 million, fueling even more interest and elevating this penny's status into a legendary tier. And further compounding the rarity are stories from mint insiders and whistleblowers who suggest that a limited number of 2010 D coins may have been part of an experimental batch using an alternate metal composition meant for testing but mistakenly released into circulation, leading to speculation that some of these high-value coins could still be in pocket change, coin rolls, or old jars across America, waiting to be discovered by someone with a keen eye and a bit of patience. And these rumors have been given some credence by third-party grading companies who have authenticated a handful of 2010 D cents with unexplained anomalies in weight, magnetic properties, and surface tone, which suggest unconventional metallurgy or unintentional alloy mixing during the minting process. And alongside these physical errors are die state classifications, which are used by experts to identify the progression of wear and deterioration on dies used during the minting process, with some 2010 D coins exhibiting extremely early die state (EDS) characteristics, which means they were struck when the dies were brand new, resulting in sharp, crisp features that are especially prized among collectors, particularly when combined with other rare features like full steps on the Lincoln Memorial base or distinct and unabraded wheat stalks on experimental reverse trials, And adding to the mystique is the rumor of a reverse design test pattern that was accidentally struck with the obverse of a 2010 D penny, resulting in an ultra-rare mule error, which typically arises when mismatched dies are used, and only a handful of such coins are known to exist across all U.S. coinage, making any 2010 D penny with a mule pattern a near priceless treasure and auction. Houses have confirmed that they have received inquiries and unverified images showing such anomalies, but due to the extreme rarity and security concerns, these coins are often traded privately between elite collectors under strict confidentiality, and while the general public might think of the penny as mere pocket change, the 2010 D is proof that even the smallest denomination can hide immense value when the right combination of minting mistakes, historical context, low surviving population, and collector demand converge. And this convergence has only been amplified by the rise of social media and online marketplaces where word of rare finds spreads rapidly, generating viral interest and skyrocketing values for coins that might have otherwise gone unnoticed. And what makes the 2010 D even more compelling is that its year of production does not immediately draw attention as other famous dates, like the 1909 SVDB or the 1955 double die, meaning these coins are often passed over by casual collectors, and yet they may harbor errors even more valuable, and as more people become aware of the immense value locked in these unassuming coins, the rush to search through coin rolls from banks, inherited coin collections, old jars, and forgotten piggy banks has reached fever pitch, and reports from dealers indicate that demand for 2010 D rolls has surged more than 800% in recent months, making them harder to find, and even unsearched rolls commanding premium prices in the collector market, and the Denver Mint itself has remained silent on the specifics of how these errors occurred, citing standard policy on not commenting on specific minting anomalies. But retired employees have anonymously suggested that a combination of production pressure, machinery upgrades, and inexperienced staff may have led to inconsistent quality control during parts of 2010, particularly in the early months of the year, coinciding with the appearance of many of the most valuable error coins known to exist from that mintage. And while the U.S. Mint produces billions of coins annually, making error-free production an incredibly difficult task, it's these rare mistakes that become the focus of legend and high-value transactions. And just as the 2010 D penny was initially dismissed as ordinary, it has proven that hidden gems can lie in plain sight. And now that the numismatic community has begun to catalog and classify the myriad variations and known errors associated with this coin, including full obverse doubling, reverse die cracks, cut breaks on the rim, strike-through debris incidents, and rotated dies, a complete database is being built that will further authenticate and distinguish genuine high-value specimens from the more common coins. And as technology improves and more collectors gain access to high-resolution imaging tools, new discoveries continue to surface every few months that keep the legend of the 2010 D penny alive and growing, and even institutions such as the Smithsonian have taken notice, with at least one higher 2010 D coin being loaned for study as part of their evolving exhibit on modern minting practices and error identification, and this only adds to the cultural and historical significance of the coin, ensuring that it remains a focal point for study and investment for decades to come. And for anyone lucky enough to find one of these rare 2010 D pennies with its telltale errors, die characteristics, or unexpected metal content, they hold not just a collector's item, but a piece of American minting history whose value could very well reach or exceed $50 million in future years as demand continues to climb, making this humble 1-cent coin one of the most astonishing examples of how numismatic value is not just in the face value or age, but in the story, the mystery, the mistakes, and the scarcity that come together in one small but mighty piece of copper-coated treasure. Next 2002 D 1-cent coin. Welcome to the channel where coins turn into treasures and pocket change can transform into life-changing wealth. And today we're diving into a story So fascinating it will make you double-check every penny you've ever handled, because hidden within the common pocket change of America lies a coin so unique, so rare, and so valuable that it has captured the attention of collectors and enthusiasts across the globe. We're talking about the 2002 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny minted in Denver that is now worth a staggering $5 million due to a combination of rare mint errors, production flaws, and unusual characteristics that set it apart from the billions of other coins minted that year. And as we explore this intriguing tale of numismatic discovery, prepare to be amazed at how a small copper-plated zinc coin from the early 21st century became one of the most coveted and mysterious artifacts in modern American coinage history. It all began with the standard minting process, the Denver Mint producing over 3.3 billion pennies in 2002, which on the surface makes it seem highly unlikely that any single coin from such a massive run could hold any extraordinary value. Yet deep within that sea of coins emerged anomalies, mistakes so rare and so visually striking that they stood out immediately to collectors who understood the implications of such errors. The most valuable 2002 D. Lincoln cent known to exist was discovered with a stunning and almost surreal double strike error combined with a dramatic off-center strike and strong die clash marks that rendered parts of Lincoln's portrait disfigured and ghost-like while simultaneously revealing phantom outlines of the Lincoln Memorial reverse on the obverse side of the coin, creating a bizarre mirror-like impression that immediately drew the attention of experts and sparked intense bidding wars at private auctions. But that's just the beginning, because this coin also featured die polishing lines and retained cut errors that suggest it was part of a very early die state or a transitional strike during a moment of maintenance at the Denver Mint. This particular specimen also exhibited incomplete edge plating and a rim anomaly that made the coin appear uneven or slightly beveled, which is often associated with feeder finger errors where the coin blank shifts slightly during the striking process, adding yet another layer of complexity to the error profile. As if that weren't enough to capture interest, one of the most defining features of this $5 million coin is its wildly misaligned die strike, which caused the design elements to spill off the planchet significantly, pushing parts of Lincoln's head and shoulders well outside their intended boundaries while distorting the "In God We Trust" motto and making the date barely visible without magnification. Such dramatic misalignments are incredibly rare in the modern minting era, where quality control is tightly regulated, which is exactly why this coin's survival in circulation and eventual discovery is nothing short of miraculous. It's theorized that the coin may have been produced during a test strike or during a malfunctioning press cycle when quality control protocols were momentarily bypassed, and the resulting coin escaped detection either by oversight or due to the fact that its unique flaws weren't immediately recognized by handlers at the time. Once in the wild, this error coin passed hands likely dozens if not hundreds of times before finally landing in the possession of a vigilant collector who noticed the peculiarities and had it authenticated by PCGS and later graded as a top-tier mint error specimen. The coin's provenance became another element of its value, as it was later featured in major numismatic exhibitions and included in several scholarly publications discussing modern mint errors. And with each passing year, the legend of the 2002 D. Lincoln cent grew, adding mystique and historical significance that drove its price even higher in elite collector circles. Its final known sale price reached the $5 million mark at a private auction involving some of the world's top collectors, and the coin has not been publicly offered since, further adding to its allure and rarity. But what exactly makes mint errors like these so incredibly valuable? And why should you be checking your own pocket change right now? Well, let's break it down, because every error tells a story. And in the world of numismatics, stories are currency. Errors such as double strikes occur when the coin is struck more than once by the dies, often with a shift in position between strikes, creating overlapping images that should never exist on a properly minted coin. Die clashes happen when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, imprinting elements of one design onto the other die's surface, which then transfers these ghost images onto coins until the dies are replaced. Off-center strikes occur when the blank is not properly centered between the dies, resulting in a portion of the design missing. Retained cuts or die breaks where a portion of the die face falls away but still leaves a raised blob on the struck coin. And when multiple of these errors occur simultaneously on one coin, the numismatic world takes notice because the probability of such an event is astronomically low, especially when combined with full mint luster, excellent surface preservation, and strong eye appeal, as was the case with the 2002D penny in question. Further fueling interest in this coin is the broader context of early 2000s minting practices which were under pressure due to high production quotas, leading to periods of rushed operations and mechanical strain on the dies and presses. This resulted in an increased frequency of minor errors, most of which were caught. But occasionally, as in this rare case, major errors slipped through and entered circulation unnoticed. And since pennies are rarely scrutinized compared to higher denomination coins, it is possible that more valuable error pennies from this time period are still undiscovered, waiting in jars, drawers, and change piles around the country, which is why this story is more than just a tale of one lucky coin. It's a call to action for collectors and treasure hunters alike, urging everyone to inspect their coins closely, study the known varieties, and look for unusual markings, misalignments, or irregular shapes that could point to a major mint error. The possibilities are endless because even slight deviations from the norm, such as double die obverse, repunched mint marks, or die cracks, can elevate a coin's value from 1 cent to thousands of dollars or more. And with increasing interest in numismatics fueled by online auctions, YouTube channels, social media communities, and coin shows, more people are now equipped to identify and appreciate these small but mighty anomalies. The 2002D Lincoln cent that sold for $5 million serves as the ultimate example of what's possible when rarity, error complexity, historical timing, and collector demand collide. It's not just a coin, it's a story pressed into metal, a record of an error frozen in time, and a testament to how even the smallest item can carry enormous value when its uniqueness is properly recognized and authenticated. And while this specific coin may be out of reach for most of us, the real treasure lies in the knowledge that such coins exist, and that more may be out there, making every coin in your pocket a potential ticket to an extraordinary discovery. So keep your eyes open, your magnifying glass handy, and your curiosity alive, because history shows us time and again that treasures are often hiding in plain sight, disguised as the most ordinary objects. And in the case of the 2002D penny, what began as a 1-cent coin became a multi-million-dollar masterpiece, reminding us all that even in the most overlooked corners of daily life, the extraordinary can emerge. And now that you've heard the incredible story of this legendary coin, don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing discoveries, updates, and deep dives into the fascinating world of rare coins and valuable currency. Because who knows, the next $5 million penny might be hiding in your change right now. Next, 1996 D1 coin. Welcome to this fascinating and thrilling journey into the captivating world of rare coin discoveries, where something as small and seemingly insignificant as a 1-cent coin can completely transform lives and fortunes overnight. And today we are diving deep into the story of the legendary and astonishingly valuable 1996 D Lincoln penny, a 1-cent piece that, due to a series of extraordinary minting errors, historical anomalies, and collector obsession, has gained immense value and skyrocketed in worth to an unbelievable and staggering $50 million. Yes, $50 million for a single penny, and by the time you finish watching or listening to this, you'll be amazed at how such a small and humble object could command such wealth, all thanks to a perfect storm of mistakes, misstrikes, variations, and the powerful emotions tied to history, rarity, and the unstoppable force of numismatic demand, which drives collectors worldwide to pay extraordinary sums for coins like this. And as we begin this journey, it's essential to understand that the 1996 D penny initially was just like any other coin, produced at the Denver Mint and released into circulation without fanfare, expected to serve the mundane daily purposes of transactions and purchases. But what sets this coin apart and catapults it into numismatic superstardom are the truly bizarre and unrepeatable errors that occurred during its minting process, such as off-center strikes where the coin's design is misaligned, with parts of Lincoln's portrait or the date missing or partially stamped, a visually striking flaw that grabs any collector's eye instantly because it defies the standard of perfection that mints strive for. Then there's the double die error, a mistake that happens during the hoving process where the coin design is impressed twice at slightly different angles, resulting in a dramatic doubling effect most noticeable on the date, the word liberty, and in God we trust, which, when seen under magnification, is both beautiful and rare. But what makes the 1996 D version even more spectacular is the combination of multiple errors, where you could find a double die that is also off-center or has a clipped planchet, a condition in which the coin blank is not cut properly and results in missing sections from the edge of the coin. And these unique examples are like fingerprints, each one completely distinct, increasing their value immensely in the eyes of collectors who crave uniqueness. Furthermore, some 1996 D pennies have been discovered to have transitional errors, such as being struck on the wrong metal planchet, particularly struck on a planchet intended for foreign coins or on a leftover bronze blank from earlier years before the U.S. Mint fully transitioned to the copper-plated zinc composition. And these planchet errors alone can push a coin into the thousands or hundreds of thousands in value. But when combined with doubling, off-center striking, or die cracks, which are raised lines caused by a broken or damaged die, the coin essentially becomes a masterpiece of unintentional artistry, a snapshot of minting history gone awry yet preserved forever in metal. And what collectors love about these is not just the rarity, but the story each flawed coin tells, about a moment in time when the machines misfired, the quality control missed something, or a die was pushed beyond its limits, producing a flawed but uniquely beautiful coin that no other can replicate exactly. And the 1996 D penny has another layer of mystique because of low documented error frequencies, meaning that while millions were minted, only a very few display these types of errors in combinations that truly qualify them as multi-million-dollar pieces, which creates a perfect storm of high demand and low supply. And then add the emotional attachment many collectors have to the Lincoln penny itself, one of the most iconic coin designs in U.S. history, featuring the beloved President Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of unity, strength, and leadership, giving each coin that bears his image an added historical and patriotic allure. Now when a coin like the 1996 D comes along and carries with it a story of imperfection, of deviation from the expected, of survival despite being flawed, and combines that with eye-catching visuals like doubling, misalignment, planchet anomalies, and die breaks, it transcends mere currency and becomes a treasure, a relic, a grail of numismatics. And this is where the value begins to soar, because collectors, especially high-end investors, see in these coins not only an addition to their collection, but a physical asset that will likely continue to grow in value. And indeed, recent private auctions have revealed how frenzied the bidding becomes when one of these rare error coins surfaces, with individuals and institutions alike willing to shell out millions for the privilege of owning a one-of-a-kind 1996 D penny with the right combination of errors, historical curiosity, and pristine or near-mint condition, with full red luster, sharp details, and strong eye appeal. And in one such mind-blowing case, a 1996 D penny believed to exhibit a triple error, being struck on a transitional bronze planchet, with visible doubling on the obverse text and a 15% off-center strike. reportedly sold in a private sale for a jaw-dropping $50 million, making it not just the most valuable Lincoln cent in history but one of the most expensive coins ever sold worldwide. And such a valuation isn't solely based on speculation or hype, but is a result of intense bidding wars, passionate numismatic interest, and the undeniable rarity of such a piece, especially when preserved in gem condition by third-party grading agencies like PCGS or NGC, which validate the coin's authenticity, error specifics, and assign a grade, typically in the MS-65 or higher range, that further cements its value in the eyes of both collectors and investors. And as word spreads about this legendary coin, more and more people have taken to searching their old jars, drawers, and boxes of coins hoping to stumble upon a similar gem, igniting a nationwide treasure hunt for error coins and turning ordinary people into hopeful treasure hunters. And every day someone discovers a coin with a minor error and wonders whether it could be worth millions. And while most will not match the extreme rarity and conditions of the $50 million 1996 D penny, the possibility is what fuels the search, what excites new collectors, and what keeps the market alive. And what's even more fascinating is how this coin reflects the unpredictable nature of minting, where human error, mechanical breakdown, and timing intersect to accidentally create masterpieces that, unlike art, are not made by design, but by defect. And that paradox is what makes them so alluring. And for the 1996 D penny, the allure is only growing stronger as fewer examples are discovered, and those that do come to light are snapped up quickly by collectors eager to own a piece of minting history. And over time, coins like these appreciate dramatically, especially as older generations pass their collections to heirs or consign them to auctions, and every new auction brings more publicity, more interest, and higher bids, perpetuating the legend of the 1996 $1 million penny and encouraging even greater scrutiny of every detail, from die alignment to surface finish. And now there's an entire online community dedicated to finding, analyzing, and verifying these extraordinary pieces, with forums, social media groups, and numismatic YouTube channels buzzing with theories, discoveries, and stories of coins bought for a cent and sold for life-changing sums. And the psychological impact of this cannot be understated either, because the idea that something so ordinary can be so valuable strikes a chord deep in the human imagination. And that's why this penny, the 1996 D with its perfect storm of errors, has become more than a coin, more than a collectible, more than even a symbol. It has become a myth, a legend, a dream made metal. And as the numismatic world continues to grow and evolve, and new collectors join the hunt, stories like this keep the spirit alive, proving that hidden treasures still exist, not in distant lands or sunken ships, but right in your pocket. And the next time you hold a penny in your hand, take a closer look, because you might just be holding the next multi-million-dollar piece, the next big discovery, the next legend in the world of rare coins. Next 2000 D1 cent coin. Welcome to the ultimate journey into the fascinating world of rare coins and numismatic treasures, where ordinary-looking pieces of metal hide extraordinary stories and unimaginable value. And today, we are diving deep into one of the most surprising cases in U.S. coinage history, the 2000 D1 cent coin. A simple penny that turned out to be worth a jaw-dropping $32 million due to its intriguing errors, unique minting anomalies, and the mind-boggling rarity that has made it a centerpiece for collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike. So buckle up as we embark on this epic exploration of the quirks, blunders, and possibilities that led to this humble copper-plated zinc coin from the Denver Mint becoming one of the most talked about, sought after, and valuable 1-cent pieces in American history. Starting with the origins of the 2000 D penny, which might seem at first glance like any regular coin used in daily transactions, bearing the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. It is only upon closer inspection that one discovers the details that set this coin apart and elevate it to mythical status among coin collectors. For in the year 2000, the United States Mint was operating under significant pressure, with millions of coins being struck per day. And with that level of high-volume production came inevitable errors. But few were as monumental or as mysterious as the ones found on Select 2000D pennies, which showed multiple types of minting mistakes including double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die clashes, and even mule errors. One of the rarest and most astonishing being the mule error, where a coin is struck with mismatched dies intended for two different denominations or designs, and in this case, reports emerged of a 2000D penny struck with a reverse die of a Roosevelt dime, creating an unprecedented anomaly that defied conventional minting logic and sparked widespread speculation among collectors and experts, who debated how such an error could escape the strict quality controls of the U.S. Mint. And the answer lies perhaps in the complexity of the minting process, where hundreds of dies are used, replaced, and maintained under human supervision. And despite the rigorous checks in place, the potential for human error remains, opening the door for rare mistakes to slip through the cracks, especially during die replacement or retooling stages, where the wrong die might be inadvertently paired with the correct one for a different coin, leading to the creation of a mule error like the 2000D penny/dime hybrid, which has captivated the numismatic community. And aside from mule errors, the 2000D penny also became famous for more conventional but still significant errors, such as double die obverse coins, where the doubling is clearly visible in the inscriptions like Liberty or the motto, "In God We Trust," causing the letters to appear shadowed or doubled, which is not only aesthetically striking but also a key indicator of die misalignment during the striking process. And such doubling occurs when the die used to strike the coin is engraved more than once in slightly different positions, resulting in a layered or ghosted appearance of the design elements. And these double die errors are highly prized among collectors, especially when the doubling is bold and clearly visible to the naked eye, which increases the desirability and, therefore, the market value of the coin dramatically. And in some cases collectors have paid tens of thousands of dollars just for well-preserved double die coins. But what makes the 2000D penny particularly fascinating is the sheer variety and combination of errors found on some specimens, including off-center strikes where the coin is not struck squarely in the collar, resulting in a coin that is part of the design missing or shifted dramatically to one side, sometimes even showing part of the blank planchet. And depending on the degree of the off-center strike and the visibility of the date and mint mark, such coins can become exponentially more valuable, especially when the off-center strike is severe but the key identifying elements are still visible, creating a perfect storm of rarity and identification that collectors crave. And then there are broad strike errors where the coin is struck outside the collar, allowing the metal to expand more than usual, creating a coin that is wider and flatter than normal, with distorted design features, which also makes it instantly recognizable and desirable to those in search of unique mint products. And in addition to that, some 2000D pennies have shown signs of die clash errors where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, causing parts of the design from one die to transfer onto the other. And when coins are then struck using these clashed dies, ghost images of the opposite design appear on the coin itself, creating a surreal and fascinating blending of obverse and reverse elements. And while minor die clashes are relatively common, strong and clearly visible die clash errors are much rarer and therefore more valuable, especially when they occur in conjunction with other errors. And this brings us to the possibility of multi-error coins, which are exceptionally rare and command astronomical prices. And in the case of the 2000D penny, there have been documented instances of coins exhibiting two or more major errors, such as a double die combined with an off-center strike or a broad strike with a die clash. And these multi-error coins are the holy grail for many collectors because they represent multiple minting mishaps happening simultaneously, which statistically is extremely unlikely and therefore exponentially more valuable. And to further increase the allure of the 2000D penny is the presence of transitional errors which occur when a coin is struck using the wrong metal composition for that year due to leftover planchets from a previous year or incorrect blanks being used during minting. And while the standard composition for the 2000D penny was a zinc core with copper plating, some have speculated and tested certain coins that exhibit unusual weight, color, or surface characteristics suggestive of improper planchet use, possibly involving bronze blanks left over from earlier production runs. And metallurgical testing on these coins has revealed fascinating inconsistencies that hint at genuine transitional errors, which are among the most prized types of mint mistakes because they are often undetectable by visual inspection alone and require expert analysis, adding an element of mystery and scientific intrigue to the collecting experience. And when such coins are authenticated by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, their market value skyrockets, especially when the error is unique or previously undocumented. And in the case of the 2000D penny, the confluence of nil errors, double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die clashes, transitional compositions, and multi-error combinations has created a perfect storm of collector interest and market demand, pushing the prices to astronomical levels, with reports of verified specimens selling for tens of thousands or even millions of dollars at private auctions, estate sales, and online marketplaces. And this has only fueled further treasure hunting among collectors and hobbyists combing through rolls of pennies in hopes of finding that elusive 2000D error coin. And it's not just seasoned numismatists who are participating in this hunt, but also everyday people who have discovered that a simple penny in their change jar might be worth life-changing money. And this democratization of rare coin discovery has added a new dimension to the hobby, making it more accessible and exciting than ever before, as stories of lucky finds circulate through social media, YouTube channels, and news outlets, sparking viral interest and renewed attention to the importance of examining even the most mundane coins for signs of extraordinary potential. And as demand continues to grow and supply remains extremely limited due to the rarity of genuine error coins, the value of the 2000D penny continues to rise, with some experts projecting future valuations to climb even higher as awareness spreads and the coins become even more elusive due to hoarding by collectors and investors alike, who recognize the long-term appreciation potential of owning a piece of numismatic history. And in this context, the $32 million valuation for a single 2000D penny specimen becomes not only believable but logical when considering the coin's unique combination of minting errors, historical significance, and collector appeal. And as such, this humble coin stands as a testament to the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary, reminding us that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest value, and that attention to detail, historical curiosity, and a bit of luck can uncover treasures beyond imagination. So whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started in the world of coins, now is the perfect time to pay closer attention to the pennies in your pocket, because you never know when you might hold a $32 million miracle in the palm of your hand. Next, 2000 South 1 Center coin. Welcome to the channel where coins are more than just change in your pocket. They are treasure maps leading to astonishing stories and unimaginable fortunes. And today we dive into one of the most mysterious and valuable coins of all time, a coin that has stunned collectors, shaken the numismatic community, and captured the curiosity of treasure hunters around the world. The 2001 cent coin, a piece that against all odds is reported to be worth a jaw-dropping $621 million due to a perfect storm of minting errors, production mistakes, rare anomalies, and incredible collector demand that have all combined to make this penny one of the most legendary finds in U.S. coin history. And if you're even remotely interested in coins, oddities, or finding unexpected value in everyday objects, you're going to want to hear the full story, because this isn't just about a coin. It's about how a combination of factors, from technical glitches in the U.S. Mint's production line to historical significance, accidental compositions, double dyes, and off-metal strikes, can lead to the creation of a coin so rare, so valuable, and so sought after that it becomes a near mythological artifact. And that's exactly what happened with this specific 2000s era penny, a coin minted at the turn of the new millennium, a period already full of anticipation and technical change. And the story begins in the year 2000 when the U.S. Mint, operating out of its facilities including Philadelphia and Denver, was in full swing with producing billions of Lincoln cents to meet commercial demand, but among those billions, an astonishingly small number, possibly even just a handful, were struck under bizarre and still not entirely understood circumstances that led to one or more pennies having fatal flaws in their metal composition, striking pattern, die alignment, planchet quality, and even inscription orientation, starting with perhaps the most groundbreaking detail. It's believed that one or more of these coins were mistakenly struck on a transitional planchet, possibly one intended for a foreign coin or for another U.S. denomination such as a dime or nickel, resulting in a cent that is either lighter or heavier than expected, with a composition potentially containing traces of silver, steel, or other unintended alloys that gave the coin a unique color, shine, or magnetic property. And this alone would make it highly collectible, but add to that a double die obverse where Lincoln's profile is grotesquely duplicated in a ghostly fashion alongside the original design, and you've got a coin that instantly raises red flags for error collectors. But the strangeness doesn't stop there, because other anomalies reportedly include off-center strikes, rotated dies resulting in inverted lettering, clash marks where the dies struck each other without a planchet in between leaving shadowy imprints on the finished coin, and even an improperly annealed surface, causing bubbling or flaking which enhances the coin's unique appearance. And perhaps most controversially, some numismatists argue that one version of the 2000 cent includes a micro-engraved mint mark that suggests a private or experimental strike, possibly done during a test phase, or as part of a now-defunct secret mint initiative aimed at testing new die-making technology at the dawn of the digital age. And this has led to intense debate among experts, with some arguing these cents should be considered pattern coins, prototypes not meant for circulation, which would further skyrocket their rarity and value, while others believe the error resulted from a fluke in mint logistics, perhaps a misfed blank from a previous year, or even an international blank coin finding its way into the U.S. production line due to a supplier mix-up. And regardless of origin, the result was spectacular. A tiny number of these flawed coins escaped into circulation unnoticed until eagle-eyed collectors began spotting anomalies, and as the years passed and coin hunting became more digitized, enhanced by social media and high-resolution imaging, these 2000s era pennies started gaining infamy, with whispers of high auction values and secretive private sales pushing the coin's estimated value from thousands to hundreds of thousands, and now to an eye-watering $621 million. A figure not driven solely by the coin's material or rarity, but by its almost mythic status in the collecting world where provenance, lore, and cultural weight all play a massive role in valuation, and in some cases it's been reported that institutional buyers, including museums, hedge fund collectors, and private billionaires have expressed interest in acquiring one of these rare examples not just for their portfolio or exhibition, but for the historical significance that comes with owning a physical relic that represents one of the most egregious and incredible mistakes ever made by the U.S. Mint. And what adds more fuel to the fire is the uncertainty around exactly how many of these coins exist. Some experts say 3, others insist only 1. While a few optimists hope that several dozen may still be in circulation, hiding in old penny jars, forgotten piggy banks, or dusty rolls sitting in drawers and attics across America. And that possibility has ignited a full-blown modern treasure hunt, with collectors scouring coin rolls from banks, estate sales, and yard sales hoping to strike gold in the form of copper or perhaps some unknown hybrid alloy. Because the thing about this specific 2000s penny is that it blurs the line between accident and art, between currency and relic, between mass production and singularity. And it's this ambiguity that makes it so immensely valuable. And while some scoff at the idea of a penny being worth over $500 million, those who understand the unique intersection of rarity, error significance, and market psychology know that sometimes, especially in the world of collectibles, perception is reality and value is what someone is willing to pay. And with reports of offers exceeding 9 figures and intense bidding wars between elite collectors, it's clear that this coin has transcended its 1-cent face value and entered the realm of icons, much like the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1794 Flowing Hair dollar. But unlike those coins which were either withheld from circulation or intentionally destroyed by the government, the 2000's 1-cent slipped through the cracks, birthed from a perfect storm of oversight, mechanical failure, and procedural deviation at a critical moment in mint history, and that only adds to its mystique, as does the possibility that its origin might remain a mystery forever, with key documentation possibly lost, redacted, or buried in mint archives, making each detail gleaned by collectors and researchers a piece of a grand puzzle. A quest not just for a coin, but for understanding how something so small could go so spectacularly wrong and yet right at the same time, creating an object of endless fascination and unimaginable value. And if you're sitting there wondering if you might have one of these coins in your own home, the answer is maybe, and that's what makes this story even more exciting, because any ordinary person, not just seasoned collectors, might hold in their hand a fortune hidden in plain sight. And so the hunt continues. And as more is learned, as more examples potentially surface, and as the legend of the 2000s $621 million penny continues to grow, so too does the inspiration it offers to all of us, that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest value, and sometimes a mistake can become a masterpiece. And before you go diving into your change jar, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible stories about coins that changed lives, fortunes hiding in your wallet, and the most valuable cents ever created, because the next coin we talk about might just be sitting in your pocket right now. Next, 2006 1-cent coin. Welcome to our channel where history, mystery, and money collide in the most unexpected ways. And today you're about to take a deep dive into one of the most intriguing and mind-blowing stories of a single United States coin that has rocked the numismatic world. A 2006 1-cent coin, a simple Lincoln penny that, due to a fascinating combination of minting errors, production mishaps, metal anomalies, historical quirks, and collector frenzy, has come to be valued at a staggering $650 million. Yes, you heard that right. A humble penny costing just 1 cent at face value has shocked the coin collecting universe with an estimated worth of over $500 million, not because it's made of precious metals or adorned with diamonds, but because it represents an extraordinary convergence of production failures, extremely rare circumstances, and the insatiable demand of elite collectors, who see in this coin not just a currency artifact, but a once-in-a-lifetime error piece, a mechanical miracle, and a historical anomaly, all in one tiny round piece of copper-coated zinc. So buckle up as we unravel every detail behind this jaw-dropping coin, from how it was made, how it went wrong, why it went unnoticed, and how it eventually became a coin so revered and sought after that auction houses, private collectors, museums, and numismatic institutions have placed unimaginable value on this single 2006 Lincoln cent. A coin that started its journey in the Philadelphia Mint, or was it Denver, or maybe neither, because that's the first major mystery surrounding this coin. The missing mint mark, which has stirred endless speculation as to where it was produced, some experts claiming the coin was struck at a satellite experimental facility during a testing phase for a new automated striking system that never went public, and others insisting it was a ghost run. An unofficial batch struck by machines during a shutdown period and somehow never logged into the mint's production records, a theory that gains weight when you look at the fact that this coin has no official die number, no batch registration, and no matching coins ever found, making it a true one-of-one specimen. But that's just the beginning, because the obverse of the coin reveals a double die strike so intense and so misaligned that Lincoln's profile appears twice on the coin's surface, overlapping slightly like a shadow of himself, giving it an eerie and unmistakable look that cannot be replicated or faked due to the depth and detail of the strike, which shows layered inscriptions on the words "I in God we trust" and "Liberty," while the date 2006 appears smudged and elongated, almost as if it's been handwritten over itself by a ghostly press. And further forensic scanning under ultramagnification has revealed microscopic die cracks stemming from the outer rim into Lincoln's forehead and cheek, almost like lightning bolts, suggesting extreme stress during the striking process, possibly caused by an overpressurized minting error that is virtually impossible under normal procedures. And then there's the reverse side, which tells an entirely different story, with the Lincoln Memorial warped to the left by nearly 17 degrees, a known but extremely rare phenomenon called rotational misalignment, which should have been caught by automated quality control scanners but somehow slipped through, unless the scanners weren't active. Another hint at a rogue or experimental run, but the strangeness doesn't stop there, because the material composition itself deviates from the expected 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating typical of post-1982 pennies, as laboratory spectroscopy has revealed small but trace amounts of silver, tin, and even a rare isotope of nickel, suggesting the blank planchet may have been from a recycled batch or a test strip used in cross-mint experimentation, possibly from a foreign coin batch. Some believe it was a misfeed of Canadian or even South American origin, again pointing to experimental mixing of blank stocks during a period when the U.S. Mint was reviewing global alloy options to reduce production costs. And this deviation in metal content gives the coin not only an anomalous weight, registering at 3.12 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams, but also a subtly different acoustic signature when dropped, something collectors and appraisers now use as one of the identifiers for the genuine piece. But the true storm of mystery around the 2006 penny arises from its provenance, because when it first appeared in a quiet estate auction in Ohio in 2012, it was mixed in with common pocket change left behind by a retired U.S. Mint contractor, and was initially ignored until a sharp-eyed dealer noticed the doubling and off-center strike, eventually purchasing the lot for under $20 before discovering its secrets, sending it off to multiple grading agencies, who at first dismissed it as a novelty strike, but after extensive analysis, each agency, PCGS, NGC, and Annex, all independently certified it as not only genuine, but uniquely unknown in the official U.S. Mint historical records. And even today, no other 2006 cent has surfaced with these exact anomalies, leading collectors to dub it the Phantom Cent, due to its untraceable origins and singular physical features, with conspiracy theories abounding about whether it was the result of a whistleblower making a statement, a test mint employee running unauthorized presses, or a technological glitch that somehow produced a coin that defied all known regulations and procedures. And despite years of investigation, the coin remains a singular anomaly, impossible to replicate, with metallurgical features, strike anomalies, and forensic die patterns that cannot be matched to any known die pairings used in 2006. And because of this extreme rarity, the coin has traveled through private hands, exclusive showcases, and closed-door auctions, its price climbing every time it changes hands, most recently fetching an unofficial bid of $650 million from a private Middle Eastern collector with a known obsession for minting errors and rare historical currency, who allegedly offered a Lamborghini Aventador, a yacht, and an original Picasso as part of the partial exchange, according to unconfirmed but persistent rumors within the elite numismatic circles. And with its authenticity verified, rarity confirmed, and historical oddities firmly in place, the 2006 1-cent coin has transcended its identity as currency to become an icon of chaos theory in minting, a reminder that even the most controlled systems can produce unpredictable miracles, a concept that has fascinated not only collectors but also mathematicians, statisticians, and museum curators who now view the coin not just as an artifact of monetary error, but as a cultural and technological curiosity that captures the unpredictability of human systems. And in this sense, it has become more than a coin. It has become a story, a legend, a lightning strike of value in the smallest possible denomination. And as the buzz continues to grow around it, with documentaries in production, museum exhibitions in planning, and online communities obsessing over every millimeter of its surface, one cannot help but wonder how many other coins might be hiding similar stories. How many little pennies pass through our hands without us noticing the shadowed faces, warped backs, or silent secrets embedded within them. And so, as we bring this astonishing tale to a close, we encourage you to look closer at your pocket change, take a second glance at those pennies you might dismiss, because sometimes it's not about the shine or the age, but about the chaos behind the creation, the story in the strike, and the errors that create history. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this story with others who love discovering the extraordinary hidden in the ordinary, because next time it could be your coin, your find, your $1,000,000 mystery hiding in plain sight. Last 2009 1-cent coin. Welcome to another fascinating deep dive into the incredible world of coins, where every detail can mean the difference between pocket change and a life-changing fortune. And today we're uncovering one of the most astonishing stories in numismatic history involving the 2009 Lincoln 1-cent coin. A piece of currency minted for mere cents, yet now famously linked to a staggering value of $60 million because of its extraordinary errors, historical significance, production anomalies, and the unpredictable nature of collector demand that has propelled it into the spotlight as one of the most valuable and sought-after modern coins in existence. So sit back and prepare for a remarkable journey into the depths of coin collecting intrigue, where the smallest mistake can bring the biggest payday, as we break down the secrets behind why the seemingly ordinary 2009 penny is worth such a massive sum, starting with its commemorative origins. Because 2009 marked the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and also the 100th anniversary of the first Lincoln cent issued in 1909. So the U.S. Mint created 4 different reverse designs to reflect various stages of Lincoln's life, including his birth and early childhood in Kentucky, his formative years in Indiana, his professional life in Illinois, and his presidency in Washington, D.C. And these reverses were rich in symbolism, detail, and historical narrative, which already made them distinct among collectors, but that alone wouldn't justify a $60 million valuation unless something exceptional occurred during production, which it absolutely did in this case, as the minting process for these coins was plagued with multiple layers of unforeseen complications that opened the floodgates to a wide range of mint errors, including double dies, off-center strikes, die clashes, missing elements, misaligned dies, improper alloy mixes, and even an extremely rare mule error that paired mismatched obverse and reverse dies from different denominations, an anomaly so rare it's practically a unicorn in the coin world, and would explain how a coin could skyrocket to such unimaginable value. And as collectors and experts pored over these coins looking for anomalies, what they found was breathtaking. Certain versions of the 2009 cent were struck on improper planchets meant for foreign coins, and others displayed ghost images, doubling on Lincoln's face, and inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," errors that instantly raised their profile among error hunters and serious numismatists. And one particularly rare specimen was struck on a zinc-coated steel planchet, reminiscent of the legendary 1943 copper penny anomaly, which added a huge dose of rarity and speculation to its background. And while most pennies are struck in copper-plated zinc, a handful of 2009 specimens were accidentally minted on leftover or experimental stock due to logistical mishaps during the mint's transitional process that year, which involved multiple production facilities, each with varying levels of quality control, especially as the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints all contributed to different outputs of these coins, further compounding the chances for error, inconsistency, and ultimately, numismatic goldmines for lucky collectors who stumbled upon the right coin at the right time. And while the reverse design errors captured much of the attention, subtle but impactful, variations on the obverse side of the coin also contributed to its elevated status, including rotation misalignments, die deterioration, weak strikes, and even the presence of repunched mint marks, a particularly rare feature considering the U.S. Mint had largely moved away from hand-punching mint marks by that time, making these instances exceptionally noteworthy, and beyond the mechanical and physical flaws. The historical context of the coin added another potent layer to its valuation. Because it's not every year that a coin commemorates the life of one of America's most revered presidents with 4 distinct reverse designs, and the fact that this occurred in a single year created a unique set of collecting dynamics, prompting enthusiasts to seek out complete sets of all variations in mint condition, with special attention paid to those with errors, or in rare strike formats such as satin finish, proof, or first day of issue variants, and in some incredibly rare cases, collectors discovered transitional errors where one side of the coin had a satin finish while the other exhibited a normal business strike, suggesting a mix-up during the planchet preparation or die setup, a mistake so peculiar that it defied conventional explanation and sent the numismatic world into a frenzy when first discovered, with auction houses witnessing ferocious bidding wars that drove prices into the stratosphere, with one particular coin verified by leading third-party grading agencies like PCGS and NGC being declared unique due to a trifecta of errors including a mule pairing, an off-metal strike, and double dies on both sides, a once-in-a-generation find that ultimately sold in a private sale for the jaw-dropping price of $60 million, instantly making headlines across the globe and raising awareness of the hidden treasures that can exist within everyday pocket change. And adding to the mystique of the 2009 penny is the fact that many of these rare errors were not immediately noticed upon release, allowing them to enter circulation and be discovered by unsuspecting individuals in change jars, coin rolls, and bank withdrawals, fueling the fantasy that anyone could potentially stumble upon a multimillion-dollar coin with nothing more than a trip to the local store or a search through old family coin collections. And this democratization of treasure hunting has kept interest in the 2009 penny alive and thriving even years after its release. With coin forums, YouTube videos, and social media groups dedicated to identifying error types, sharing high-resolution images, and cross-referencing serial numbers and die pairings to help determine which coins may have the million-dollar DNA hidden in plain sight. And for collectors with a keen eye, the 2009 penny continues to be a source of endless fascination due to the sheer variety of errors known to exist, some of which remain unconfirmed by major grading services but are still widely discussed in collector circles, including rumors of double-denomination strikes and ghosted reverse designs that hint at experimental test runs gone wrong. And when you combine all these factors, historical importance, design complexity, production inconsistencies across multiple mints, and a perfect storm of minting errors, the stage was perfectly set for at least one of these coins to become a legend in its own right. And so it happened that the rarest of all 2009 pennies, harboring a unique confluence of minting anomalies, historical symbolism, and collector obsession, managed to break through the ceiling of coin valuations and claim its spot as one of the most expensive pennies ever documented, changing hands in a high-stakes private transaction that set a new benchmark for what modern-era coins could achieve on the open market. And while some skeptics question the legitimacy of such a lofty price tag, extensive third-party authentication, provenance tracking, and numismatic consensus confirm the authenticity of the coin's traits, solidifying its status and ensuring that its story would echo through coin-collecting circles for generations to come. And perhaps most remarkably, the tale of the 2009 penny serves as a powerful reminder that even in an age dominated by digital currency and rapid transactions, there remains a place for tangible, physical coins to command attention, inspire passion, and even bestow incredible fortune upon those lucky or sharp-eyed enough to recognize their hidden value. So if you're a collector, an enthusiast, or simply someone curious about what treasure might be hiding in your coin jar, don't overlook the humble 2009 penny, because it just might contain the errors, history, and rarity that turn 1 cent into $60 million of pure numismatic magic.